Hello tubers and tubettes, my name is David and I live in Northern California, and this video is for VanLife. I went to the fabrication shop today and talked to Vinny, and I noticed that my truck, my van, is up on the lift, and they had the little pieces of string hanging down to show the center of the axle, and he's going to install that front axle so we can get that thing out of the shop. And gonna have to hook up a drive shaft and then also put a shifter so I can shift it into four-wheel drive. But man, I can't even tell you how much I'm happy about it. I've been watching a couple of video YouTubers, and one couple that I ran into on YouTube, they're living in a bus, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, that's pretty cool. You know, they have about 200 square feet of living space, and I have about 66. So I'm not sure if they're counting the front cab part of it or where you can actually live in it, but I have 66, not including the front seats, you know, just where you live in the back. So it really gives you an idea of the difference in the size. And for a second there, you know, it made me think, oh man, maybe I should have got a school bus. But some of the things that were issues that I thought in watching it is, number one, the bus is humongous. I mean, it's just really, really big. And they drove it from Florida all the way up to Alaska. And so that can be a rough ride, you know, because it's got such stiff suspension on it. And they converted it. I know one of the things that they said is they never thought it would be in cold weather, so they never put insulation in there. Whereas that's a big mistake, because you need that whether you're in cold weather or hot weather. Another thing that I thought was kind of a big mistake was not having four-wheel drive on it when you're going up to the snow. I know with my truck, it's been so nice. It doesn't have 4x4 emblems on the side of it, but whenever I go to a snow chain area where you've got to chain up, and I pull up to them, I always, they can't tell because I don't have 4x4 emblems on the side. But I tell them, nope, I got four-wheel drive, and they can see the shifter, you know, in between my, right down there between the two front seats. So just drive on through. I don't have to get chained up or anything. And that's really important. I would imagine even more so when you're up in Alaska. And then there's a couple places that are really sketchy. I know they were taking their bus down this really, really heavy driveway, sloped driveway, and right at the end of the driveway was a very busy road, you know, going back and forth. So it looked like they chained it up to a Prius, and they were using that to kind of ensure that they didn't go right out into the road. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's so sketchy to do that, because I can't imagine a Prius is going to hold it back. But I'm not sure if that's what they were doing. It looked like that's what they were doing. But I was thinking, man, if you just had four-wheel drive in that, you could just shift it into four-wheel drive, not just when you're stuck, but whenever things are a little slipperier. I remember there was a time where I was driving my Ford Expedition with all my kids and my family in it, and we were driving in kind of a snowy area, and we went over a couple of little hills where you couldn't see what was on the other side. And as we went over one of the hills, here's a big snowplow coming the other direction. I didn't see it, and I didn't hear it. And I just went down real quick and pushed the button, the electronic button, to engage four-wheel drive while I was driving. And I mean, that Expedition just gripped the road, you know, and I was able to pull around, so I wasn't in the way of the snowplow. It might have been a different thing if I didn't have four-wheel drive and I just hit the brakes, you know, because I could have slid right into the snowplow. So having four-wheel drive is really important. The last thing makes me second guess myself. I was thinking how great it would be to have all that living space, but there's no freaking way I could leave it in my at my house. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, and I have left my van there, and nobody says anything about it because it's a van. But if I had a motorhome or even a van that looked like a motorhome, that would be an issue. So I think I'm going the right direction with my van. The best thing about it, it has an international diesel engine, which is exactly what that school bus had. But of course, mine is smaller. Was used in light-duty commercial vehicles before Ford put it in. And Ford put it in to their 1985 E350 van, which is what I have. It has a C6 automatic transmission. The only downside about that is it doesn't let it gear all the way up so that I can be driving down 75 miles an hour down the street freeway. I can drive at 65 pretty comfortably, but I do have a gear vendor on my 57 Chevy, and it looks like a pretty nice one, and I don't really think I need it on my 57 Chevy. So I was telling the fabricator I'd rather take that gear vendor off my 57 Chevy and put a divorce transfer case in it, so I'd have a four-wheel drive on my 57 Chevy, and it would go in about the same spacing as where the gear vendor is, and then put the gear vendor on my 85 diesel van, so it'd give me one more gear for like highway gears. And anyway, I really do think I made the right decision with the extended van and with the pop-up top. And we talked a little bit about the pop-up top. What I wanted to do was build a frame in the pop-up top, or they call it high top, and I want to extend it so that the top of the van is more level. Right now it angles from the front to the back, and it would be hard to walk on it because you'd want to slip right off the back of the van. So I want to lift it up with like what would look like a little roll bar, like 3 of them inside there. And then I would fill that gap in there with fiberglass. But when I was just talking to the fabricator, he said, you know, we might be able to just cut the metal on the roof in such a way that we could bend it up so it would go straight up, and then right up to where the inside of the high top is. So that way, even if it rained, the water would have to go back up about 4 to 6 inches before it could drip into the pool. And he was even saying on the front where the windshield is to cut that and tip that up too, just making it about as waterproof as you can. So I thought, well, that's a really good idea. So after I get the four-wheel drive installed, that's one of the next steps that I'm going to do. And the gear vendor, you know, so I've got ideas on it. So it was in the shop, and I have a video of it being lifted in the shop. So it looks like the four-wheel drive is getting ready to go in, and that's going to be a great milestone and the next step in the progression of the beast, the VanLife van. So I'm spending a lot of time thinking about what I want to do with it. I'm not in a rush because I'm not going to really use it until I retire in less than 3 years. So then I'll be taking it around, and it's not made to be one that I could live in all the time, although I'm going to set it up that way. It's going to be more for I could stay in it maybe a couple of nights, or eat in it or whatever, and then I would stay in a hotel because I like staying in hotels. So instead of just staying in a hotel every night, maybe I spend a couple of nights where I don't. I don't know, it might be so comfortable I may. But I think I'm also going to change the interior to be more of a studio, so that I have a place for my computer to go. I have a place so that I can do editing, video internet editing. And I just got my drone out, and I'm going to start practicing with my drone. So maybe I can do that where I'm traveling down the road, and you can the drone will be taking videos of the van as I'm driving. So I've got to come up with some kind of motif on the side of it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I want it to be kind of modern and kind of cool looking. The wrap that I'm going to put on there. And I'd like to have my internet, my YouTube video name on it so people could see that. Anyway, that's where I'm at, and I'm going to run this video after the video of the van in the shop, and I'm going to go back over there so I can kind of document how they're putting the brackets and everything for the leaf springs, and how they're extending out the front. A lot of stuff like that. I want to do that, but my main thing is just get that thing with a four-wheel drive so it can engage and start driving it around. So thank you much for looking, and I appreciate it if you subscribe, and have a great day.